Hello, everybody. You're welcome to Just for Women Africa. And my name is Olaleko Amusa, the founder of Just for Women Africa. And today, we're on a Zoom interview all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. We have with us Sharifa Olokodano, who is based in Lagos, and she's the CEO and founder of SM Delight, a company based in Nigeria, which does natural seasoning for food. She'll be talking to us about her business, how far it's come, her challenges, and her plans for the future. So stick around and we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, welcome back to Just for Women Africa. We have with us Sharifa. Sharifa, you're welcome to Just for Women Africa.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome, Sharifa. Hi, Sharifa. Could you tell us, over the last couple of months, you've been making a lot of waves on social media. Could you tell us, how does that make you feel?
I think it started somewhere, yes, in the last 4, 5 months or even 6 months. There have been a very high increase on social media. And in fact, it's very interesting to go and Google, search my name, and you find it in almost every international newspapers or news agencies. It's been good, and then it's been bad. It's been good because, well, it means more people know about what we do. And then we have lots of international, we have more international awareness about what we do. However, there's been a very negative part of it, very negative and very toxic. So he's from Atlanta, America. Last year to my kitchen studio, and he made his own video, had an interview, and then shared on his social media handle. His IG name is authentic traveling, authentic_traveling on IG. And then I'm shocked at the intense dislike from Nigerians, most especially. I'm very shocked and extremely disappointed. The young man, Chris, he had a post sometime maybe 2 weeks ago, and the comment section is vile. The comment section is extremely toxic, and majorly from Nigerian non-Muslim. It's extremely saddening. I mean, I understand that the political structure of Nigeria, the recent political structure of Nigeria has tried to tear Nigeria apart using faith and tribe or where you come from to tear us apart. And this political structure can only work when the people allow it to work. The discord can only happen when we, the people, allow it to happen. So when we say that the government is bad, it starts from me, you and me. We are the government. And if you go to Chris' page, on the post he made of me, he was just sharing something very beautiful. I had an interview with Rauta, and he really spread. I mean, I've had my news shared in over 25 different international TV stations, and it's been shocking. I mean, from as far to Bangladesh, India, China, Australia, the USA. What's it called? NASDAQ. I think that's the a kind of like the Nigerian stock exchange for the USA. Actually shared my story on their news site. And so it means that it has grown very wide, which is something from Nigeria, for Nigeria. In fact, for every of this news, it would start by saying Sharifa Yunus Olokodano, a Nigerian. And so I feel that it's something to be proud of. But instead, the people have been extremely vile, insultive. There is nothing that has not been said on that page. Now, that's not the first time I'll get that kind of attitude. But the first time I saw it that much, I asked Chris to respond to as many of those vile comments as possible. But the thing I can see at the moment is Nigerians who are not Muslims majorly are extremely intolerant of Muslim women. Extremely intolerant. I know that a lot of non-Muslims who came on that post to say they didn't know that Nigeria is this toxic. But for us to realize that we really have a problem. Now, if people are this bad, what kind of the next generation are we raising? A generation that cannot live with goodwill. I saw a lot of things that happened in recent times, some blow of Nigeria in recent times, and I can see the kind of audiences and reviews from Nigerians that's been happening. If the person is not a Muslim dressed like me, people are majorly in support. But it is when it is somebody like me, and then there is violence, there is insult. In fact, people called me a terrorist on that post. Some people called me the wife of a terrorist. Some people, it was vile. And for me, it's very heartbreaking. And that's one. Then I also noticed that as many have gotten BBC interviews, a German TV station came all the way from Germany to do a documentary on me, and it was for several days documentary from all the way from Germany. But I have not gotten one Nigerian TV station invite me for any interview. Speak louder. Punch, and then he said he was supposed to come out on a Saturday, but he was not sure if his editor would allow it to come out, and his editor never gave it the come out. And so this is the intense negative feelings that I have received so far. But fortunately, like I said, I'm very stubborn, and I have a goal, and my goal is to change stereotypes. So amidst all this noise, I intend to continue to do my job. I intend to continue to put Nigeria in a good light. I intend to help the younger generation see that even if you are covered like me, you can be successful. So for every little girl out there, I want them to know that they have greatness in them. And because these are the young girls I'm looking at, either they are Muslims or they are not Muslims, I just want every girl know that you can work very hard and then you can be successful. So because I have that goal, despite whatever that I've been getting, I continue to go on.
I'd like to say that I'm Nigerian from Kwara State, and I'm extremely very proud of what you're doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You've been in business for the last 10, 11 years. What has business been for you, being a Muslim woman, and for you when the hijab and all?
I would say that to be a woman in business is really very tough. I think around the world is not that easy. In Nigeria, it must be tougher. It is tougher. Now, we have lots of women in the markets. Women are naturally we are good with being entrepreneurs. We are good with money. We are good with making 1 naira becoming 10 naira. So that's why when you go to the open market, you see lots of women there. However, when it comes becoming a professional of some sort, it becomes more difficult. So being a Nigerian Black woman running a business is very tough. So wearing the hijab, being a woman who dresses dressed the way I do, is an extremely difficult thing. I get lots of abuses. I get lots of verbal abuses, and it makes things very difficult. So in places where you're supposed to make headways, people will judge and not even want to listen to you. I remember that before I went deeply into food, I used to sell secondhand thrift dresses for children. And there was a particular woman who treated me very badly. And I felt it was majorly because of the way I'm dressed. And so I had a lot of that. But fortunately, I had something that perhaps most people don't have. I'm very stubborn. And being successful is a very big deal for me. I wanted to change stereotypes. And because I had that goal, I continue to work on it. So when I get those kind of challenges, I try to work on it. Of course, finance is also a big deal in terms of challenges, accessing the funds that you need at the time that you need to start to grow and to scale. That's one of the issues as a Muslim woman that I have, because we don't take interest-based loans. Muslims don't take. I'm not supposed to take interest-based loans. So most of my money to scale has been savings, friends, and all sort of things, but never a big enough amount to help. So that's also a main challenge for me as a Muslim woman in business.
Okay. I'm really sorry to hear about how you've been treated. I mean, we should not treat people badly based on their religion, on how they look. I think everybody has a right to wear whatever they want to wear. And So my next question will be, okay, you wear the hijab, but your clientele, do you have clientele spread across all religions? Do Christians come forward buying products for you, or is basically just Muslims?
Funny enough, my clientele base is 65, 70% not Muslims. Non-Muslims are the highest when it comes to my spices. I have 65 to 60% not Muslims. The other way around, it was 80% Muslims, 20% non-Muslims. The natural seasoning brand or niche in Nigeria, at least digitally and commercially, I innovated that niche. It was nothing, we didn't know anything about. What we're used to is our regular seasoning cubes. And we have a name, we call all of them. That was how our parents has raised us, and that was what was common. But when I came into that market, I was backing the wrong kind of market in terms of I was telling people that what they were doing was wrong. You can get something better, which is a very difficult type of business. It's better to fulfill needs rather than creating needs. So I created needs because people didn't think they needed the natural seasoning brand. And so it was very tough because I was fighting a lot of battles where everybody's okay with what they're doing. I'm telling them you could be healthier. So I created that niche in Nigeria. And in doing that, I have digital footprint that has given me the accolades of that niche in Nigeria. And I went to it based on passion and needing better health. And because of that, it helped me spread the message of we can make our food a medicine. And then people who are enlightening, people who are maybe on Instagram, I started getting more in touch with them. I would say one of the major help I had was from a Christian woman who I call a friend. She's very popular on social media. She's called Lagos Housewife. Everybody know her as a very dedicated Christian, and she wouldn't do anything against her faith. But it was this woman that was a major help with my business, at least on Instagram. So yes, I have a lot of, when it comes to my spices, I have a lot of more non-Muslims than Muslims when it comes to that aspect. I have noticed some other aspects. I have more Muslims than Christian, but when it comes to the spices, I have more Christians or more non-Muslims than Muslims as my customers.
Okay, that's really great to know. At least you know that Christians are buying your products, and they're actually more than actually the Muslims are. Okay, so let's talk about your cooking show. You started your cooking show. What has been feedback been so far since you started?
Okay, so I realized because of my seasoning, I needed to create an avenue where I can create content for telling people, for showing people how well natural seasoning tastes. And in doing that, I needed to create a studio kitchen that is classy, beautiful, and the content needs for the natural seasoning, the SMD spice mix. And I found it very difficult to get a good kitchen studio that would, I'll be able to film in, I'll be able to create my food content. So I decided that I'm sure a lot of people have that issues too. But unfortunately, I built the kitchen studio in a location that was quite far or not so accessible. So I had that problem of I wasn't getting the rentage that I wanted. So in 2021, I think 2022 or late 2020s and influences to my kitchen, I will cook them a 3-course meal using the SMD spices for the main dish and the starter dish. And then whatever their honest reviews were, they'll be able to share with their audience. Now, what we say at SMD is that we are changing our world meal at a time. And if we're doing that, I needed influencers, people who can influence the people who follow them about how delicious, because that's really the fear people have. Would natural seasoning be delicious? Wouldn't it taste foreign? So I invite those people. One of the things I make sure is that I'm not paying people to come, because I want them to be able to give their honest review of whatever they ate at my place. And so I was fortunate to get somebody at the first time who who actually honored my invite. And from there, I continually invited more people. And it's been a fantastic thing. Every time we finish cooking, I enjoy looking at the shock on their faces and how excited they are that, wow, we cooked this dish. We didn't use any artificial seasoning, and it's been fantastic. We rested a bit this year because we moved to our first corporate office in Maryland, Lagos. So we have a lot of work to do there. So we haven't done much aside one. We had at the beginning of the year, and then I'm having another next week with a young man. So one of the things is I run before the show itself. I ask people to guess who I was inviting, and then we have a lot of talks on the event itself. And then after the invitation, after we cooked, we share it. They share on their page, I share on my page, and it's just fun and interesting.
Okay, Sharifa, as we round up the interview, what's your advice to women in Nigeria and around the world who watch your program, who look at you as a source of encouragement to them? What's your advice to them?
Okay, so I would say that number one, you have to have a focus and a goal. Your focus and your goal will determine how much you want to achieve. There is absolutely nothing that can stop you from being the best of who you are. You don't need anybody to make it happen, but you need yourself. So you have to have lots of focus, you have to have goal, and then achieving them is the next phase. Now, because I know that social media is a thing and we all want to become content creator, it might take away from some of your goals. So you have to have time that you take away from social media, where to put the real planning, the real work in action, and then it is your successes that will be seen on social media. So because you are a woman doesn't stop you from being the best. And I think being a woman is actually our superpower. And I always love to say that it's very important to me as a mother. I have 4 daughters. My eldest is 18, and then I have blessed with to show that the only option they have in life is to be the best. I'm a boss mommy. A boss mommy is I'm a boss in the professional situation I find myself, and I'm a boss in my home. I'm also a mommy from 100%. So you can be anything. Just fix your goals, work for it, and continue to don't stop in one place. Continue to achieve and aim for high. My dream, personally, I say one of my bucket list is to be on TED Talk. And when I get there, I think that, and so everything I do, I'm strategic about it. For everything I do on social media, it's a goal towards Tech Talk. And I'm not saying Tech Talk Nigeria. It's a goal toward Tech Talk. And I can get there from the things I do. So you have a goal. Your goal will push you to the best that you can achieve. And when you think you are in the best, you know that you're just starting again.
I like that. When you know you're in the best, you know that you're just starting again. That's a really powerful statement to make. To our viewers who are watching, who love the interview and love to get in touch with you and get some supplies of your spices, could you give out your contact details so they could make some orders?
Sure. Okay, so we have our website is www.smdelight.com, and on social media we are at SMD Nigeria, SMD as in Sherry's Mama's Delight with Nigeria. If you search my name, Sharifa Yunus Olokodano, you also find it. And then on Facebook, we are Sherry's Mama's Delight SMD on Facebook. So you can find us. And if you want to contact our WhatsApp, our business contact is 0806 44 22278. 0806 44 22278.
All right. Thank you so much, Sharifa, for being on the show with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to interviewing again in the future.
All right. Thank you very much.
And to our viewers that are watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa.